Welcome to JS Testing Academy. Hope you're all doing great. This video is about the next part of our series which we are posting, that is manual testing. Okay, and this topic is very important, right? Not only in interview point of view, in real time understanding point of view also. Okay, if you go for any manual testing question interview, right, there is no interview without this question. Or if you are working in a real time, you will be definitely, you are going to, since we are all testers, we are going to be a part of software testing life cycle. Okay, so already we saw software development life cycle. In software development life cycle, there is one phase called as testing phase, that we are getting in very detail here. Okay, so generally software testing life cycle, if you ask me, right, it is of five phases. One is the requirements gathering and analysis. Next one is test strategizing and planning. Next one is test design, that is nothing but a test development where we set up the environment, write test cases, something like that. We'll see in detail later. Next one is test execution, and the last one is closure. So all these things are the five phases, okay, in which life cycle undergoes. So from the start of a testing till the end of a testing, what are the phases in which it's undergoing? So that is called as this software testing life cycle. So in the development phase, in testing phase, we are getting in more detail here. So this in this video, we'll see more about the requirements and the requirements gathering. Okay, always the first thing will be requirements gathering. The word gathering means collecting the requirements. Before start of a project, you will collect the requirements. Okay, either in KT phase. KT means knowledge transition. Any given tester or senior or manager, whoever is entering into the project newly, he should get a KT even though he experienced in that particular project. Suppose a person is working in an one bank project like STFC. If he got a new another bank project like something like anything American bank. Okay, so I'm testing, and there will be lot of rules and regulations or business background differs from an HDFC background and American background. So he should attend the KT so that he is collecting the requirements. Okay, so requirements gathering is very important in during your testing phase or even the development phase also. Okay, so first, right, what you'll do in the requirements gathering is first assign roles to the person, then define the scope of the project. Next one is conduct stakeholders means all the people who are involved in the project are called as stakeholders. Okay, next one is document the requirements. Then after documenting the requirements, as I told you, verification comes into picture where we verify, validate the requirements. Okay, then we prioritize the requirements. So all these things will be done during your requirements gathering. So now prepare the document, review it, validate it, and prioritize which one you are going to test first, which one is going to, which sprint or release, right? You are going to prioritize the requirements. Okay, next one is what are things you will do requirements gathering. Okay, what are things you are going to do requirements gathering. First one is application functionality. Next one is business process flows. Then the domain knowledge. Then the tools usage and the QA process. So first you'll gather about the functionality of the application. What functionality you are going to work, right? For example, card functionality, payment gateway, right? Withdrawal, right? So debit card, credit card, net banking, UPI. So what are the functions you are going to use in that application? What is the flow of that particular functionality, right? So what like layers you have, right? What different architecture layers, right? Everything you'll get an idea about the application functionality. Next one is right business process flow. What is the background details of the business and what is the process and what how and all is collected, who and all is the client, who is the end user, what are the transactions, everything, right? What how many customers right they have, right? All these details, the background detail about the business and the process and the flows, right? You'll get during this phase. Okay. Next one is a domain knowledge, right? There are a lot of domains like healthcare, retail, insurance, e-commerce, right? Banking domain, right? A lot of domains, right? What domain you are going to get, and you're going to get a domain KT, right? So that also will be done during your KT phase. Next one is right tools usage. What tool you are going to use? The lot of tools, right? Automation tool, configuration management tool, requirement management tool, right? Test data tools. Lot of tools, right? We are going to use it, and how you are going to use it. Okay, right. A lot of tools, right? Pipeline, we are setting a pipeline, right? GitHub repository, right? Everything. So all these things you'll get an AKT. And next one is a QA process. What process? I'm going to work in agile, waterfall, and when is going to be the meeting, right? When is going to be review, how is going to review, when the automation review is going to happen, when you are going to send, what are reports you are going to send daily, weekly, monthly, right? So all these things you're going to gather during your requirements phase. Okay. Next one is right use cases. You'll draw a use case diagram also of that particular application. From that you can gather the requirements, like what are the actors, different actors, right? In the particular application, like you take any hotel management, right? Waiter will be there, chef will be there, client will be there, cashier will be there, and who are also going to interact with different functionalities, right? Who is going to update, right? Who is going to make the payment, right? Process the food, eat the food, serve the food, order the food, right? So all these use cases will be drawn. This is one of a tool to gather the requirements, like flow charts, use case diagrams, right? There will be a lot of tools where we can right gather the requirements. Instead of reading a document, we can prepare right use cases to gather the requirements also. Okay. So next one is types of requirements. Requirements is can be classified into business requirements, user requirements, and system requirements. First, right, if you understand, right, customer is going to give a document that is called as CRS. CRS means customer requirement specification. It will talk about the what the customer needs. From that, BRS will be prepared by business analyst. They are going to check the objective of the software, the scope and the objective of the software, the main goal of the software that will be there. For example, in ATM, withdrawal, pin change, and balance entry is the main goal. This will talk about the high level objective or the scope of the project. Okay. Next one is user requirements. It will tell about the user needs and the user right inputs and user outputs. The test data you are going to use are different datas, right? All these things, right? Usability, the color, font, right? All these details will be there in your user requirement. System requirement will have both functional and non-functional requirements. Okay, so as I told you, BRS will be converted to SRS document. After SRS, that is software requirement specification, it will have all the functional, non-functional requirements of the detail of the application. From the SRS, it might be converted into multiple document, that is performance requirement, user requirement, right, usability requirement, next one is security requirement, database requirement, okay, functional requirement. Like that, it can be split into multiple documents, FRS, URS, CRS, right? So all these documents. So the initially customer will give one document, that is CRS document. From that multiple documents, most of the MNC companies will have multiple documents. And if you go to a small company, they'll have only SRS document. Okay, so all these things are the different types of requirements. Okay, next one is requirement analysis. As I told you, you draw a diagram and you can understand about the requirement, what is the flow of data between one module and another module, and who is the actor is going to use. Okay, from that you can write scenarios. Test scenarios can be written easily after drawing a diagram, right? A customer is going to receive an order and then order it, ship the products, like collect payments, invoice going to get generated, and the books will be taken from the warehouse. Like that, you draw a diagram. From that, you can do analysis easily. Requirement analysis, right? What is a module I'm going to work, project or going to work? What are the modules? What are the data is how the data is passing between one module and another module? What are the scenarios I can generate of that? How I'm going to test manually or automation? What logic I'm going to use if I'm going to automation, what frameworks, what tools, right, what reports, right, what are steps I know should add for manual test cases. So all these things will be there in your requirement analysis phase. Okay. Next one is right. We'll see the sample requirement document which we already created in our JS Testing Academy. So we created a sample requirement, that is software requirement specification. We created for healthcare management system. We already posted this video for this project. For this is only for requirement document. So the first one is the scope. Okay. So the first one is purpose, scope, definitions, acronyms, abbreviations, reference, overview, overall description, product perspective, product functions, user characteristics. Okay. General constraints, assumption dependencies, functional requirements. Right. Next one is external interfaces, user interfaces, hardware interfaces, communication interfaces, then functional requirements and non-functional requirements, and use case description. Okay. First one is introduction about the project. Okay. Next one is the purpose of the project. Next one is scope, right? In scope and out scope of the project. What are the definitions and acronyms and abbreviations used in the project? Okay, like user interface, graphical interface, behavioral development, test development, okay, ETL, quality assurance, control, okay. So all these will be there. Okay. Next one is the reference, right, URLs and documents. All those things will be there in your requirement document. Next one is overview of a document, right? What is the overall view of the SRS document? Next one is overall description. Okay, what is healthcare is all about, right? Who are the right, what is the main purpose of the document? Okay. Regarding with the patient's health issues, right, and doctor is going to right, do the prescription, right, give medicines, right, give an entry of all the right, diagnosis will do it. Then user is going to book an appointment, track an appointment, schedule an appointment. So all these transactions should be there. So all this is the overall description of an healthcare management. Next one is what are the different products in the product functions in the application, like patient management, medical record management, clinical decision support, billing and finance, inventory, appointment scheduling, laboratory, electronic prescription, telemedicine and remote monitoring. So what are the different functions in that? That will be mentioned in your SRS document. Okay. Next one is that will be in a given a detail: patient management, medical record management, building and finance, inventory management. Okay. So that will be clearly detailedly given. Next one is what are the user characteristics, front end, desktop, and administration. What are the constraints, limitations you have in the application, and what are the assumptions and dependencies you have. Okay. What and all you are depending upon, right? Resource dependency, information, external dependency, clinical dependency. What are the dependencies you have in the project? And you'll draw a diagram, detailed diagram of the application, so that you can gather the requirements and analyze the requirements. Like what are the different modules there in the project? What are the different logins you have? What are the different pages you have, right? And what are the, from this we can draw a scenario here. Okay. So this is very very important. You should draw a diagram, right, of this, and from there, right, you can gather requirements and analyze the requirements, like finding a doctor. Okay. Right, patient care, right, different departments, search functionality, procedures, different procedures, international patient specialties, right? So all these things, what are different requirements you have in the application, that you draw a diagram from that, and the different screens you have in the application, what is expected from the customer. Okay. So that you do, and from that you can gather the requirements. Book an appointment. Okay. Next one is book healthcare. Next one is consult, buy medicine online, specialties, and find hospitals. Next one is reports, procedures. Okay, different screens or pages, that will be that is explained here in this requirement document. Okay. Next one is pro health. Okay. international patient care, like the different modules or pages that will be mentioned in the document. Okay, so this is all about the requirements gathering and analysis in the software testing life cycle. We saw the first right phase of the software testing life cycle, that is requirements gathering and analysis. Okay, hope this video is useful to you. Okay, so please follow us in the upcoming videos. Okay, if you want, I'll share this requirement document. You can ping us to the number which is there in the JS Testing Academy site. You can ping us. I'll share you this document. Continue to help us and support us. Okay, thank you. Bye.